All right. You know what time it is. Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, NBA picks and props. And an interesting week because we've had the play-in tournament going on. We had a very exciting game last night between the Golden State Warriors and the Los Angeles Lakers that had some people feeling some kind of way. Had people feeling a lot of different things. Usually when I do the show, we have about 4 boxes, but sometimes I see 3. Some people have been seeing 3 rims. We got all this stuff out here. And introducing the first person to rock with us on the show this week is a guy who is not here for the propaganda season, I shall say, my man Gerard Hector. Gerard, how is your vision? Are you seeing 2 boxes with just me and you right now, or are you seeing more?
Nah, Playboy, I'm seeing clear. Listen, I told you this on Twitter. I'm coming in hot today. We are not about this LeBron James propaganda, all right? This dude out here acting like he got shot by a sniper, like rolling around on the ground. I'm like, dog, I get it. Like, Draymond fouled you. Like, I get it. Like, it ain't that serious, my dude. And then, shouts to Rachel Nichols, the homie, OG, one of the great ones to ever do it. But damn, Rachel, you got to fall for this stuff too? LeBron, what was going on with the eye? Setting it up for his nonsense. I was seeing 3 rims out there, so I went for the middle. Dog, you watching Rocky IV again? Talking about you seeing 3 dudes? Like, come on, man. Like, stop with the madness.
Oh, the madness. Gerard came in hot, but the person that usually comes in hot is our man Brian Fonseca. Brian, were you as bothered about this? I mean, we had LeBron talking about how the Lord was with him. We got Gerard going against the Lord here, pissing off all the Christian folks. Did you have the same energy?
Look, as I said in the group text, I don't see how I can call somebody named the Chosen One a liar. Like, he was talking about how this was divine or this was God's work. He's nicknamed the Chosen One. Who am I to say he's wrong?
Brian, you were heathen. Stop it. You were heathen. You are definitely the one to do that.
Listen, as a fan of professional wrestling, I am very much admiring somebody who is going to oversell the bump and then come back with the victory, with the pinfall over the top, with a 3-pointer and then selling it like you couldn't see. Like, look, real or not, I kind of don't care. Like, he got it done. And, he's the WWE, reigning, defending NBA champion, as we head into round 1 of the playoffs in a series that I feel bad for the Phoenix Suns that they have to, this is their reward that they got to play the Lakers, but we'll see what happens.
It is not shocking, folks, that a wrestling fan would appreciate this. I think that says a lot. Our fourth member, I should say, of this group, Jamal Murphy, the Black Catologist. Murph, were you buying LeBron seeing 3 rims last night? Or were you surprised at him saying this? Is this propaganda season for you?
Yeah, I'm not buying it. I agree with everything you guys said. He's in LA, he's Hollywood. I think he had to, the initial flop was so epic. Like when he went down, we didn't know. I was like, yo, is he dead? I was like, yo, is he gonna be out for the rest of the season? He's grabbing his head, then he's grabbing his knee.
They had to bring out the eye.
He just got poked in the eye. I think he just, once you how they say once you lie the first time, you gotta have a lie on top of it and a lie on top of it and a lie on top of it. And I'm not calling him a liar. It's more like flop. In this case, it's a flop on top of a flop on top of a flop. You know what I'm saying? So, but he hit the shot, won the game. I don't know why he had to go through all that though.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. Like, we talked about, what was it, last week or whatever, that look, I mentioned eye pokes, very serious, surprised they don't happen more often. It happened to Jimmy Butler, though the difference was he kind of got the eye poke. You could see where it hurt, and he didn't come back for the rest of the game. Like, there wasn't really selling about it.
Braun showing up to Phoenix with eye patches, bifocals, dog gonna come with a walk with a CNI dog. Yo, we're gonna get all the full drama coming into Phoenix. And my thing is, yo, dog, there is nobody who is reasonably intelligent that looks at the sport of basketball that does not say this man, if he ain't the GOAT, is on a short list of 3 people who can lay claim to that title. You ain't got to do all this extra stuff, dude. You don't need to do all this extra shit. You the man. We already know that. Like,
that's my point. You don't need this to add to the narrative of greatness of LeBron James. And if he comes with the Pirates of Caribbean patch, yo, I'm not here for it, man. I'm not here for this, man. Don't be coming in here and your Jack Sparrow against Phoenix. Yo, we're not here for it. Like, you hit a great shot. I'm not going to be the person talking about his luck.
No.
It was a great shot, man. He hit the
doubt.
shot. That's it. We don't have to add to legend. He couldn't see, and he was seeing 17 rims. And nah, man, we don't need all that. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody asked for that.
Propaganda. Listen, remember, he started the playoffs saying what? I don't know if I'll ever be 100% in my career, right? Okay, that was the first piece. Second piece, well, the real MVP is Steph Curry. Well, guess what he just did? He slayed the real MVP, right?
And Jaded.
Here's the thing.
You heard him post-game. How great Chris Paul. Listen, this is all part of LeBron James's shtick. Stop the madness, LeBron. Stop it.
Yo, but all I'm saying is that, look, remember, LeBron James is a wine connoisseur, right? Who turned water to wine? I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm out of here.
All right, we're done. He came with the wrestling and then turned the water to wine. Next, he's going to walk on water. All right. All right, we're done here. All right, guys, we are into playoff season. We're trying to get out of propaganda season. But we've had the plans tonight. We have one of the first battles for the 8th seed, Indiana versus Washington. We'll also have the second one tomorrow. Memphis versus the Golden State Warriors. But let's talk first about Indiana versus Washington happening tonight. The Wizards, they came off a loss to the Celtics, 18-point loss up in Beantown. They are the favorites in this at -3.5. The over-under is 237.5. Murph, I'll start with you. Who do you like in this matchup? I was a little shocked at how good Indiana looked against Charlotte, maybe how bad the Wizards looked against Boston. But who do you like in this matchup down in D.C.?
This is a tough one because Washington, they didn't look good against Boston. You got Westbrook, wasn't his regular season self. And then you have Beal, who's definitely not even close to 100%. So that's the real thing for me. Then you have Indiana, who just played lights out against a pretty bad Charlotte team down the stretch. So I'm trying to figure out which way, what really means something in terms of how they played the last game. I'm leaning Indiana, especially with the spread, because it gives me some points to play with in case it's a 1-point game and Washington wins it. So I'm gonna go Indiana because it's really a toss-up game to me. So I'm gonna go with the points in Indiana. I'm not gonna touch the over/under though.
Not touching that over/under, going Indiana. Brian, do you have as much faith in the Pacers to pull this off?
I don't think the Wizards are going to have the same effort that they did against Boston last time. I don't think it's going to be that necessarily. And I don't think Indiana is going to just blow them out of the water in the way that they did to Charlotte. I think it's a totally different team. And I think that, whenever you see like a desperate Russell Westbrook, you're probably going to get a different dude than what you saw a couple days ago. That being said, this is kind of a stay away from me betting wise. Like, I don't really know which way I go. I don't feel strong one way or another. I probably have a tougher time going against Washington just because of the Westbrook and Beal factor, and on any given night they could sort of give it to you in that way. But I like Indiana's team overall better, though they have some injury concerns that sort of raise an issue with me. So this is more or less a stay away for me. If I absolutely had to pick, I would just take Washington because I just think there's more betting upside there. But I wouldn't call them the favorite, nor would I call them the quote unquote smart choice at this point.
All right, this is a stay away from Brian. Gerard, what about you? Are you getting in on this action?
Look, man, I don't like either of these teams, and I said this when the play-in started a couple nights ago. When I was looking at Charlotte and Indiana, I was like, ugh, that's just a yuck game. And so now I got Washington and Indiana together. Look, y'all know I love Domas, but like the rest of that squad's been shaky of late. Washington, we know Beal's not healthy, so that's a problem. And we talk about regular season Westbrook versus playoff Westbrook. The one thing teams know, Westbrook's biggest gift is also his curse. That aggressiveness and that like, I got this, I'm going to take over. You get him to shoot himself out of a game. And if that jumper ain't falling, which, he's not a good shooter. For all the triple doubles, and I'm not going to come at him. Like, that's an amazing thing. Dog shoots 42% from the field. That is not good. And in the postseason, yes, it's playing, this is the postseason because you're trying, this is the kind of stakes we're talking here. Possessions are limited. You got him coming down and bricking shots and wasted possessions. That ain't good. So I don't like it. It's really a stay away. But if I had to, because of the money line and the odds you're getting, I'd go Indiana here. But I'd stay away from the over-under.
Yeah, this is a stay away for me, too. I'm concerned with Washington, although I kind of agree with Brian that Westbrook would step up here. And Indiana has its own concerns. You saw the last game. They shot lights out against the Hornets, who looked like they didn't realize they were playing an elimination game at all whatsoever. But their leading scorer, anybody know who their leading scorer was in that game? It was O'Shea Brissett, who wasn't even on an NBA roster in March. So I'm not saying no shade to O'Shea Brissett. Go get your money, bro. But at the same time, I don't know who to trust with Caris LeVert out due to health and safety protocols. DeMatteis had a bad shooting night, but he did a lot of things well. This is a stay away for me. I'm inclined to lean Washington and believe that Westbrook will find a way to get it done. But, this is probably a stay away from me. All right, moving on quickly to the Western Conference matchup, which will be tomorrow night, which I think you guys might enjoy a little bit better. We have the Memphis Grizzlies versus the Golden State Warriors. Golden State minus 3.5 point favorites. Over-under is 222.5. Brian, I'll start with you. Are we going to get Chef Curry propaganda season in this? Is Curry going to come fired up and hit threes in everybody's eye again? I mean, he was kind of doing it last night, just LeBron got one over him. Are we getting the Chef Curry MVP propaganda spark for this game?
So last night in the group chat, we were talking about, Gerard and I at least, were talking about Memphis' offense and the kind of funkiness and things we don't like. I'm going to let you talk more about that, Gerard, but I'm going to say that sort of factors into why I'm leaning Golden State here. I just feel a lot more comfortable with them. You're watching more and more teams as we get later into the season, and now we're in the playoffs, basically, just sort of be comfortable with sagging off Ja Morant and getting away with it. And that's been a red flag for me. I'm not saying he needs to become Steve Nash from three-point land, but on some level, like, you're going to need to overcome that. And having Jonas Valanciunas, as great as he's been as your center, they're just going to run into each other all the time. And with Golden State, Steph Curry's just on another level. Like, look, they almost beat the Lakers yesterday. I mean, I know that it wasn't a great sort of ending for them. And LeBron James, we already talked about the three and things like that. Golden State nearly won that game. And I remember going into that game, I told Dexter, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if they won. And I would have been curious to see what would have happened because that would have put Lakers versus Utah. And I thought that would have been a very entertaining first round series. So here I'm going to lean Golden State pretty comfortably. I'd be shocked if Memphis were to win because of how Golden State has been playing, even against, the defending champions for now, although, we'll see what happens with the Lakers in the playoffs. That was a very good effort from Golden State yesterday. So I feel comfortable taking them against Memphis.
All right, comfortable taking it. Gerard, I'm going to save you for last on this one. Murph, are you comfortable taking the Warriors as well?
Yeah, I think I have to. It's a game. I'm a little torn in terms of what's going to happen. Memphis has been playing well. They won it pretty badly, you can tell. But Golden State, they get the day off. You're right, they did play very well against the Lakers, played very hard against the Lakers. If anything, I would worry about just them not having the same energy. But then again, it's the playoffs. So, and they've been there, done that. So you give them a day off, they should be able to come out with the same kind of intensity that they had against the Lakers. And if they do that, I think they win. They just have more experienced players, and Steph Curry, can go off again, as we know. And Draymond's playing well. Even Wiggins played pretty well against the Lakers. If he plays like that against Memphis, I think I got to go Golden State. I was waffling on it earlier, thinking about it. But the more I think about it, I think Golden State will win. And 3.5 points, if you think the team's going to win, you might as well just go with the spread also. Yeah,
no, Golden State role players looks really good in this game. Wiggins, Toscano Anderson hitting some shots, Brian's boy. So, they did some good things in the game. Gerard, you are down on the Memphis offense, and rightfully so. Are you giving them any shot at winning this game, or do you think Golden State's your best bet here?
Well, I'm going to give them a shot for a couple of reasons. One, the emotional expenditure of that Lakers game, which really, damn, they could have had that. The Warriors first half, 4 turnovers. Second half, 15. That third quarter is what killed them. They just turned the ball over at an alarming rate. Yes, LeBron hit the 3, but as everything else, go back and you rewatch as I did this morning, it's just like, oh man, too loose with the ball here. Again, in playoff settings, it's possessions. Now you get an empty possession. So instead of going up 9, now you turn the ball over, they come down and score, you're down 2. It's like it's these little things that change the whole scope of a game. And the Lakers were just a little bit better in those moments than the Warriors were in that game. As far as Memphis goes, Brian's right. Like the Kyle Anderson, John Morant, Jonas Valanciunas, Jaren Jackson, Dylan Brooks fit is just awkward. Like Ja doesn't shoot. So first of all, they don't have enough shooting on that team. So the spacing is terrible, right? As good as Jonas is in terms of scoring on the post, grabbing boards, it just gets clogged down there. Now, I will say this, defensively, they do play well. And in that game on Sunday, Memphis and Golden State, when Dylan Brooks was guarding Steph Curry was 4 of 14 when Dylan Brooks was guarding him. As soon as Brooks fouled out of the game, Curry went off. I'm not saying Dylan Brooks is some Steph Curry stopper, but the way he gets into guys and plays defense, Dame talked about it, like he gets physical and gets into these guys. And look, no matter how much, tough guy you are or stronger you are, when you're scoring, you hate that shit when dudes are constantly getting up into your kitchen and like bothering you, right? So I think if Brooks can manage to stay out of foul trouble, he'll keep this game close. I'm going to go sentiment because you know how I feel about my book Triple J. I'm going to go Memphis in this one. Say they pull the upset, but look, let's not get crazy, right? It is Steph Curry we're talking about.
Yeah, I can't go for Memphis on this one. I have issues with their offense and the way teams are playing against John Morant. And the other thing we got to give credit for, Golden State's been really good defensively down the stretch.
Number 5 team in the league.
Number 5 team in the league, right? They were good last night
Excellent.
and looked really good, especially in the first half. What probably did Golden State in last night was turnovers. They turned the ball over. I think they had 14 second-half turnovers. I think they'll take better care of the ball against Memphis. I think Curry, if Brooks isn't on him, Curry's going to try to look to do some different things with him, try to free him up. But Brooks did do a good job. You're right about that, Gerard. But I got to go with Golden State. I think they know what's at stake here. Like Murph said, I think they get it done, the experience. They find a way. With that 3.5, I got to go Golden State here. But it wouldn't shock me if this was a 6-point game with 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. In this, it would not shock me at all. I'll just trust Golden State's offense with Curry to get it done more than I would trust a John Morant.
Well, you're trusting in the institutional knowledge of Draymond Green and Steph Curry, right? And
right.
We saw that last night. And even though they lost, and Davis did kind of go off a little bit in the second half, hat tip to Draymond, man. Draymond was in AD's head all first half. That dude didn't know what he was doing. Draymond blowing up pick and roll, stripping the ball. Like, just listen, for a guy his size, what is he, 6'5"? And to bother a 7-foot dude like Anthony Davis like that, this is why, I'm not agreeing with him, but this is why Draymond makes those statements. I'm the best defender of all time, right? Because you're never going to shut these guys out. You're not. You don't shut superstars out. But for them to get that kind of defensive performance out of him and them not win the game, that was tough.
By the way,
and this was also probably his individual best defensive season since 2-3 years at least, I would say. Like, he was great this year.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. Gerard, I was just going to ask if you were wearing the shirt that I thought you were wearing, and then I saw that you were wearing the shirt I thought you were wearing. Yes, we love that shirt. We absolutely do. We absolutely love that shirt.
You had that shirt.
Oh, man. All right, guys, we finally get to talk some playoff basketball, some actual series. We had all this regular season fatigue. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through the series. Obviously, we don't know who Utah will play until after Friday, but we'll touch on that later. We know the Suns will play the Lakers, and we'll figure out who Philadelphia also is going to play after tonight's play-in. But we're going to go through some of these series that we do know first, and we're going to start off with the Bucks, the 3 seed in the East, against Brian's team, the Miami Heat, seeded 6. Now, I know Brian has been having trouble, sleepless nights in terms of being able to pick this series, and he doesn't know what he's going to do. So we're going to start with you, Brian. What have you decided on the series? Because when you look at the odds here, guys, there's a lot of interesting stuff around this series. And I'll go through some of the odds really quickly. Bucks in 4 is plus 450. Bucks winning in 7 is plus 400. Heat in 6 is at plus 900. Bucks in 5 is plus 280. Heat sweeping is plus 3,500. I'm sure that's what Brian's rooting for. Heat in 7 is plus 800. Bucks in 6 is plus 325. And then the Heat in 5 is also at plus 2,000. So, wait, sorry. I was making sure I did not see I have a typo there. Yes, plus 2,000. Brian, have you decided how you're going to bet this series? And what? How do you think will finish up? In what games? And what odds do you like there?
It's been agonizing trying to figure out what's going to happen in all of these series, but this one was one of the toughest. For me, it's like this. I think Milwaukee can get to the finals. I think the way they're built, I think because Drew Holiday adds something there, Giannis is a little more comfortable with his jumper. I still don't really, trust him to create efficient offense late in games, but you have other guys there to help out with that. And it's not like he absolutely cannot get a bucket, but against this team, I mean, this is the team that he struggles with probably the most out of all the good teams. Like, it's very difficult. So there's a world where I think that Milwaukee can get to the finals. But the thing that I'm always coming back to when I'm trying to pick this series, because I've been leaning Milwaukee, I want to lean Milwaukee because I feel like they're better. They could do it. They have a better bench. They're not as old. All these things. And Drew Holiday says they're more talented. I would guess that that's true for the most part. But the thing about this series is what I keep coming back to is, who is the player you trust most in the playoffs out of everybody here? He's on Miami. It's Jimmy Butler. Who's the coach you trust more between the two guys? It's Eric Spoelstra. And that one's not even close. So if I keep coming back to that, what would Milwaukee have to do to make me trust them? And that's actually winning the series. So I'm just going to pick Heat in 7 because I just don't have as much confidence in those two things than I do with Miami. But I do think that if they win the series, I think they can get to the finals. But it's one of those I have to see it to believe it type of things with the Bucks. And look, as great as I think they are, I mean, they also have on Miami, they have Bam, who, as far as guarding Giannis, you can't. And Gerard said this earlier about Anthony Davis. You don't stop Anthony Davis. You don't stop Giannis. You don't stop those kind of dudes. Bam is not going to lock up Giannis. He has his moments, but he's not going to totally lock him up. But in terms of frustrating him and getting him off his game or whatever, he's as good at doing that as anybody because unlike Joel Embiid, he can follow him around pretty much everywhere. Embiid will do that to a point. Rudy Gobert will do that to a point. They're different kind of dudes. So I'll lean Miami, but, we'll reevaluate after the series is over and see what happens with the winner. And whoever wins, by the way, they're going to play the Nets most likely, and I think that's going to be entertaining as well.
Well, our guy, Eric Chang, I don't think he loves your pick too much, calling you a homer, Brian, and Bam is nothing more than $100 million squeeze center.
He's fired at Bam. Wow.
Yo, man,
yeah,
that's some slanderous talk, Eric Chang. Damn.
Eric Chang coming. Now, Brian, you picked you went with the Heat in 7. That is at plus 800. Murph, I'm going to go with you next. Do you like those odds, or are you going with a different pick? Same team? What's going on with you in the series?
What are those odds again?
So plus 800 for the Heat in 7. Milwaukee Bucks sweep plus 450. Bucks in 7 plus 400. Bucks in 5 plus 280. Bucks in 6 plus 325. Heat in 6 plus 900. And Heat sweep. The other stuff is really high. Heat sweeping is plus 3,500, and Heat in 5 is plus 2,000.
I think odds-wise, Heat in 7 is a good plus 800. You said,
yeah, plus 800.
That's pretty good if you're trying to make some money, because that could easily happen. I think it's a close call this series for me, but I'm going with the Bucks in 7. I'm going with the revenge factor. I'm going with them not running from the Heat like the Clippers ran away from the Lakers. I do trust Giannis, and I've said all along, I never blamed Giannis for any of the team's past failures because, I mean, look at the Nets roster now. They have 3 bona fide stars. When Giannis was losing the playoffs, they had 1 star. Okay, you just can't win like that. So now he has a little bit more help. I wouldn't, they're not a huge big 3. I don't put them in the big 3 category in terms of the level of player with Middleton and Drew Holiday, but I think they are a better team all around. You got to figure that. I mean, if you're a true competitor, you're a true NBA player. They have to be beyond motivated to play the Heat again. And I think that makes a difference. They've had a better regular season. The Heat have been all over the place in the regular season, hardly able to get continuity. So I just feel like that will come back to haunt the Heat for whatever reason. So I'm going. I really think this is the Bucks' year, at least against the Heat. I don't know how far. I don't see them getting past the Nets if the Nets are healthy. So give me Bucks in 7, and I like that plus 400. I'll take that.
Plus 400 for the Bucks in 7. Gerard, I know you've kind of been, I don't say anti-Brian on this because I'm not really 100% sure. But where are you on this? So we got one person picking the Bucks, one person picking the Heat. Where are you on this in the series?
Shout out to Cortez, the minister of Heat propaganda. Brian is giving him a run for his money because he also likes to put out Heat propaganda out there. Look, hashtag Heat culture is a real thing, but I'm a firm believer that the bubble scenario last year was perfect for that team. Unlike everybody else, they didn't have to relocate much. Miami to Orlando is a couple hours, right? Like, it wasn't a big major uproot for them like it was for everybody else. Jimmy getting locked in and doing this thing, and we saw the Miami Heat official Twitter account tweet out today. Jimmy Butler is locked the fuck in. All the noise is starting, all that. Cool. And by the way, I don't doubt Jimmy and Bam as playoff performers.
I feel like Gerard is 2 steps away from calling this Heat propaganda. I feel like it's coming.
But it is what it is. However, the Miami Heat all regular season have not been good for various reasons. Some of that's due to injuries and out of the lineup, COVID, different things. Tyler Hero has been not what we thought he was going to be this second year. He's still pretty much mainly the feast or famine, high volume shooter that he was his rookie year. Will he duplicate that in this series? I don't know. We'll see. Goran Dragic is a year older, hurt, not looking great. Instead of Jay Crowder, you got what's my man's name? Oh God, why am I blanking? Ariza in his spot. No, I don't know if that's an upgrade, right? So Jimmy and Bam, who don't space the floor well, right? Like, I'm not loving it. And so if you want to flip to the other side, it's all setting up. Talk about narratives and storylines. The Bucks slay the Miami Heat Dragon that upset them last year. They take on the Brooklyn Nets, the story team that everybody's talking about, 3 superstars. They beat them. They go to the conference finals. They take down the 76ers because, Giannis and Embiid and Simmons got their beef. And the Bucks win it all, right? It's setting up for all that whole narrative fairy tale. But I ain't believing that shit either. All right, look, the Bucks will get past the Heat just because I think they're just better and more talented, right? Like, Drew Holiday he's just better. Like, I know that none of the eye test numbers tell you anything because he doesn't score 25 points a game and none of that shit. Dude is shooting 39% from 3 and is a lockdown defender. You ask any NBA person who the best defensive guard in the NBA is, they will tell you Drew Holiday every single time. He's that good. Chris Middleton's doing his thing from 3. They will be good enough to beat the Bucks, to beat the Heat. Now, Spoelstra, however, they ain't getting swept. He's gonna do his thing, and Bud's gonna have some nervous moments. So I'm gonna go Bucks in 6.
Bucks in 6. Okay. Not bad there. The odds
sounds like Heat disrespect.
plus 325 for the Bucks in 6. Okay, so you guys all made very interesting arguments. Brian brought up the point to me about the whole Spoelstra versus Bud thing early in the week, and I happen to agree with him a lot on that. And it really, Budenholzer scares me, guys. We haven't seen this man adjust. This is kind of now or never for him, though, right? Like, this is really where he's either got to get it done or not. I think a lot of people have criticized Giannis, which I think is the point that Murph's always had, but we got to start criticizing Budenholzer and his ability to adjust. I trust Spoelstra. I'm with Brian on that. I also trust Jimmy Butler to get it done. But, sorry, B, I got to leave you on an island.
Yeah, man.
This has been the series that's bugged me. That's why we put this first. This is one that's bugged me. I think this is going 7, and I think the Bucks are going to find some way to win it. I just think they're going to find some way to win it. It tusts me. I want to go with Miami. We could be wrong, but I'm going to take the Bucks in 7 with the plus 400.
I will say this though,
yes,
to give my man Brian some love and not and not leave him out there alone on Heat Island. If the Heat win game 1 or game 2, Bucks gonna be shook like a mofo. in that
But
series.
I think we all can
But
see
you
that
know
happening.
what? Like, I think they probably will. And that's sort of what I'm processing also. Like, I don't see Miami going down 2-0. For what it's worth, I don't know if this is worth anything to you guys, but Milwaukee hasn't seen Jimmy Butler this season at all.
True.
First two games, he had an ankle injury. He didn't play. And then the last one was, one of the last games of the season. He was out. They haven't seen him at all. And there was that famous TNT game where Milwaukee just routed them 141 to whatever it was, or it was some crazy score. And they played again 2 nights later, not on national TV. Spo made the adjustments, and they beat Milwaukee without Jimmy Butler. Like, this is kind of what happens. And as far as the coaching battle, I think that's more significant here than it is in other series because of the history between these two. You have one dude who's one of the best playoff coaches in the league. Like, he's on that short list of top 3 or whatever because of the adjustments. LeBron or not. Like, people say, oh, with LeBron, he's done all this stuff. LeBron's had mad coaches that haven't won with him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And this is the dude who actually won the most with them. And then you have all these other things. Like, you saw the adjustments that he made last year. And while the bubble situation, they were sort of hashtag, I guess, built for it, as people say, more than other teams. Like, I think, the reason for that is because they're so disciplined and do their stuff and things like that. Now, if they were playing the way they had been for most of the season, I would pick Milwaukee. But the thing is, Miami did pick it up toward the end. They had the best record after, I forget what the date was, but they finished the season on a very good run. They were 11-3 at one point, and this was up until the last couple games of the year, and they're sort of putting it together. But I think that's probably going to be the best series of the first round. Like, it's going to be very captivating the whole way through.
We know Miami ain't gonna be scared. We know that they certainly ain't gonna be scared of these dudes. So,
definitely not. All right, next series, we're going to move over to the West, guys, real quick. We'll talk about a team that Murph didn't like because they punked out. That's the Los Angeles Clippers. Weren't trying to win the final game of the regular season. Clearly, trying to avoid the Lakers. They, the 4th seed, they will be playing against the Dallas Mavericks. And this will be a very interesting one. I think probably could be argue this or Portland versus Denver will be one of the more interesting ones. Now, the odds for this are kind of interesting depending on how long you think it can go. Clippers sweeping plus 425. Clippers in 7 plus 400. Mavericks in 6 plus 1,000. Clippers in 5 plus 250. Mavs sweeping plus 4,000. That'd be bad for the Clippers. Dallas in 7 plus 900. Clips in 6 plus 350. And Mavs in 5 plus 2,000. I'll start with you, Gerard. You were on the Clippers train last year. That train derailed. The people hitting the side of the backboard, that's for sure. It won't be a laughing matter if the Clips don't look good this year, that's for sure. Do you like the Clips against the Mavs, and how many games you going here?
I do. Look, for all the crap we give the Clippers, and look, deservedly so, right? Like they shit the bed against Denver, up 3-1 and blew that. This is a different team. The chemistry and culture is very different around the team this year. These guys seem to understand what's going on. Kawhi and PG had excellent seasons. Playoff Rondo is a thing. Zubac is doing his thing. They have the right shooting around this team. Look, I like these guys. And with Dallas, I don't know what's going on with Kristaps Porzingis. Is he playing or is he hurt? I'm not sure what.
KP All-Stars, man. KP All-Stars.
I'm not sure what he's doing. And again, okay, let's say he is playing. Okay, Kristaps and Luka, but Kristaps can go down at any minute. Are you trusting Tim Hardaway Jr., Trey Burke, Dorian Finney-Smith? Josh Richardson. Nah, man, I'm just not. So I'm going to go Clips in 6 here.
Clips in 6. All right, Murph, Clippers, are they going to pay for their transgressions on the final day of the season? Because they angered the basketball gods and decided to try to sit players and all this stuff. Are you rolling with the Clippers here, or are you giving the fighting Kristaps Porzingis a chance?
I give the fighting KPs a chance, but I agree with Gerard. I'm going to go Clippers in 6. That's another team. They have a lot to prove. Paul George has a lot to prove. He has to come out with his A game from game number 1. We know what to expect from Kawhi. I love the Rondo edition. I love the Ibaka edition.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a different team. Lou seems to be doing a pretty good job there. I think they'll take care of business here. But I do give Luka and KP, or Luka by himself if KP gets hurt. I do give him 2 games.
Yeah.
And to make it interesting. I think it'd be an interesting series, but I'm going to go Clips.
All right. Odds for what did you say? How many games did you say, Murph, for Clips?
6.
You said Clips and 6. Oh, again, that is plus 425. Clips and 6. Brian, where are you going here? We know you are Team Kristaps Porzingis. He leads the league in trips to the locker room, as you famously said a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, yep, it's either him or AD. You're probably right about that. Any chance you're giving the Mavericks here? There's some pretty good odds on the Mavs here. We talked about Mavs in 7 is plus 900. Any chance you take that?
See, I want to lean the Clippers because they're the better team, but
here we go. There we go.
The thing, hold on. The thing about Dallas is that this series happened last year. And if Kristaps Porzingis doesn't get hurt, I don't know what conversation we're having today. Like, that's not to say Dallas would have definitely won, but I do remember a game where Kristaps Porzingis got hurt, changed the game, changed the series. It's entirely possible that Dallas wins that series after. Now, now they have Rondo instead. They're the Clippers, that is. They're a little bit better and things of that nature. Luka's also 1 year better now, having had some playoff experience. I think that matters. Kristaps Porzingis, that's really to say his health is a factor. And if he could just make it through this series, which is what you'd be betting on, and yes, he did also get ejected from a game. That's true, Eric Chang. He actually got ejected from the game I'm talking about. He got ejected from game 2, then he got hurt after game 4. I think that's what it was. That's correct. Dallas probably should have been up 2-0 in that series or something, and that changed it. So with me, it's like I probably think the Clippers are going to win the series. But what I'm going to do with my money is I'm going to put it on the Dallas Mavericks because I just have better odds there. Like, I'm going to put it on the Dallas Mavericks. I'm going to put Mavs in 6 because I like that number there. What I'm looking at is plus 1,000.
Oh, that's nice.
And typically where we have like these sort of upsets or whatever, like, yeah, I would see Dallas going up 3-2 and then finishing it out on their floor, right? Instead of doing it in LA. Like, that just seems more likely. I just don't know with the Clippers, like them, like the Milwaukee Bucks, they have a wide gap, and like the Miami Heat, I think, between what I think they can do. Like, they can lose in this first round, or they can get all the way to the finals and potentially win the whole thing. It's that just sort of all over the place with like teams like the Bucks and the Clippers in this case. So I'm gonna, put money on the Mavericks, though my mind sort of says the Clippers will take care of business in 6 or 7 games. But look, man, we'll see, because the conversation about Luka Doncic, if they pull this off, will be very interesting if they just do it in this round alone.
I'm just gonna go ahead and show my shirt again for context.
All right, for context, I'll say this. Look, man, Gerard. One thing I've learned from Gerard is you gotta stay on brand, man. You gotta stay on brand. We talk about the Celtics. Fuck the Seas. We talk about the Clippers on here. Clips gonna clip. That's the brand I've been bringing. And here's the thing: I think the Clippers are inclined, from a prediction standpoint, to win here. But betting, I'm with Brian on this too. I think you gotta, if you want to win some money, why not throw a bit on the Mavs? You know why? Because the Clips gonna clip. Would it shock anybody if going into Game 5 this is 2-2? Wouldn't shock me, because the Clips are going to clip. And I'm gonna go throw some money and put it on Mavs in 7. Yeah, wow. I'm gonna go with Mavs in 7. We get 7. The Clips are shook in the Staples Center with Luka having a chance to win it. You know what? Maybe you lose in the 7th game, but you might feel good about it. Maybe Paul George hits the side of the backboard again in a Game 7. It'll still be entertaining, and it's plus 900. Why not? Why not at all?
Paul George needs to, vanquish these demons like bad. He's got to have a great series, and they gotta, or the slander will just continue, man.
The slander will continue for sure. Yeah, my gut tells me Clips in 6. But like I said, for betting purposes, yeah, I'm gonna go Mavs in 7. Why not? All right, moving on. We got to move through these quickly. Next game, Team Gerard and Murphy here, Brooklyn Nets. They're the 2 seed against Gerard's other team. They're fighting Brad Stevens and the Celtics, the 7th seed. They got in there after their win over the Washington Wizards. Gerard, I'm going to start with you just so you can keep it on brand. Nets Celtics, is this much of a game, much of a series? Do the Celtics even win a game? I think it's fair to question that. The odds for this series, let me go through this for you guys here. The odds in this series, just so I can pull this up real quick. Okay, Nets sweep, plus 275. Tells you they think the Nets might do it because the odds aren't that great on that. A Nets to win in 7, plus 500. Also don't think that'll happen. Boston Celtics to win in 6, that's plus 1,600. Nets to win in 5, plus 190. Nets to win in 6, plus 350. Celtics to win in a sweep, plus 8,000. Celtics to win in 5, plus 4,000. And the Celtics to win in 7, plus 1,600. Gerard, any of these tantalize you, or are you going with Nets in 4?
Look, man, I got to stay on brand. Fuck the C's. You know how that goes. Look, they're just too injured right now. And while Tatum is playing out of his mind, like he's showing he's that dude, that's just not enough. Yo, Brooklyn's healthy right now. Like all three of these dudes have been, and not only that, are they healthy? The cumulative load on their body parts this season has been less than most people because they've been out, right? That's going to be a thing that matters come postseason time. This team doesn't have enough to stop them. Like, I just, you want to talk yourself into like, all right, but Robert Williams, he got turf toe. Like, Jalen might score 50 in a game and they still might lose that game because you got those other three dudes. Look, I think Brooklyn goes up 2-0. That third game in Boston, the C's like get feisty, and they maybe pull one out in OT, but Nets win the next one and take it home in 5. It wouldn't surprise me if they swept either, but I don't see this advancing past 5 games.
All right, Nets in 5. That's plus 190. Brian, are you in on this? Are you going to be Team Celtics just to piss Gerard off?
No, I mean, even if Jaylen Brown were healthy, I just, I've been ranting about what they need on the interior and them going to trade Evan Fournier instead of actually getting help on the inside. So, and now we're here. It's unfortunate that Jaylen Brown's out because I would have actually liked to have seen him be a part of the series because that would have made things interesting, I think. And it probably would have gone a little bit longer, but I'm rolling with Gerard. I think it's going to be a gentleman's sweep, which means I'm just going to keep my money and not really put anything on the series because I think Nets, even as a sweep, was only plus 2 something, and Nets in 5 was like plus 190 or something along those lines. And we have other series here that I think are more, enticing to bet on. So,
no doubt.
Kemba Walker's been playing better. Jason Tatum's been playing better, but there's 2 guys, and the Nets, while I do have questions about, whether or not Kevin Durant could play 2 months of healthy basketball straight because he still hasn't quite done that, or, Kyrie Irving hasn't gotten injured yet, or, James Harden, like, how's he going to be? And, all the other moving parts. I have questions about them as we move on, but I think they're going to get it done and be fine this series at least.
All right, gentlemen, sweep, first time. Come on, Murph. Just do it, man. Pick Celtics in 7. Do it.
Yeah. I basically agree with what everybody said. I can see 5. I can see 5, but the odds are better for a Nets sweep, so I'm going to go with that. I'll say Nets in 4. I think Boston could give them trouble for games and then still not win. I think the games could be competitive for a while. Stevens, the greatest coach of all time, especially in the playoffs, he can put together a game and bother the Nets for a little bit, but it's just they just don't have enough. Tatum's a great player, man. Watch out for him next season, but his season's going to end after this series.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I'm not going to belabor on this too much. I see the Nets sweeping here. I do not see the Celtics winning the game. The odds, as Murph said, are better on that. And it'll be very easy at the end of the season for Gerard to say what he always says about the Celtics, and that's pretty much pretty much it. All right, moving on to the next series.
Marcus Smart going to be saying that too after they trade his ass.
He just might. Next series, we're going to go back over to the Western Conference. The Denver Nuggets, they're the 3 seed versus the Portland TrailBlazers. I think this is another tough series to pick. This is one that's going to be very interesting. Yeah, Brian's already exasperated by it. I can see that. Murph, I'm going to come right back to you on this one. Nuggets, TrailBlazers. I think this is a favorable match for the TrailBlazers, who've been playing pretty well down the stretch. We all know the Nuggets are without Jamal Murray for the series, who played so well in the bubble last year. Do you like TrailBlazers upset, or are you rocking with the soon-to-be MVP in the Nuggets?
Yeah, I like Portland here, and I'm not high. I haven't been high on Portland all season, but I'm just not a believer in Denver being able to get it done without Jamal Murray. Obviously Jokic, I think he'll do his thing this series. Portland doesn't play enough real defense to stop Jokic at all, probably. So Jokic can run wild, but. And I'm a fan of Michael Porter Jr., but I just don't think he's ready yet. I don't think he's, he'll have to show me that he's going to get 25 every night in the playoffs, and that's what they would need at least, I think, to win this series. Portland, they know they have to win this series. Just if any of these guys want to come back besides Lillard, so I think they, they're motivated. McCollum, he's looking good. He had a great second half, or when he came back from injury, he looked great and was rounding into form late in the season. I expect a big series from the backcourt, of course. Melo hit a couple big shots. I'm just not a believer in Denver in the playoffs without Jamal Murray. It comes down to that, and I'm going to say Portland in 6.
Portland in 6. The odds on that are at plus 350. Let me go through the odds real quick before we move on. Nuggets to sweep, plus 1,400. Nuggets in 5, plus 550. Nuggets in 6, also plus 550. Nuggets in 7, plus 450. TrailBlazers, sweeping, plus 1,200. TrailBlazers in 5, plus 600. TrailBlazers in 6, plus 350. TrailBlazers in 7, plus 450. All right, Gerard, are you team TrailBlazers as well, too?
Man, the Michael Porter Jr. disrespect by Vegas and Murph.
Woo! We knew this was coming from you.
Damn, man. Listen, you know that. Gotta ride for my boy MPJ. Look, Jokic is the MVP. We know that. We know about Dame and CJ doing anything, Dame time. Yeah. All that. Portland still can't play no defense. So I don't as good as they are, those dudes still can't guard, right? And Michael, what's their matchup for MPJ? Who's guarding them on Portland?
Robert Covington, Norman Powell.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see how that works, right? With a 6'10" dude whose true shooting percentage the last month has been like 80%. Listen, I trust in Coach Mike Malone to scheme him up right. Denver's played well when Murray's gone down. Look, what's going to end up happening as a result of this playoffs, in my opinion, is MPJ is going to emerge as the Nuggets' second best player in actuality, right? That's what's going to happen. And then when Murray comes back next year, it'll be like, look, Murray, we know you can do your thing, but this MPJ guy, 6'10", who's 22 years old, who's still getting better, I like it. So I'm going to go with the Nuggets in 6 here. They got the home court advantage. I just like the way they're playing. Jokic can slow the game down. Again, remember, in the postseason, right? Possessions matter. Jokic is always going to get them into a good flow on offense and get them a good look. And that shit matters, man. I'm going Nuggets here.
Plus 550 for Nuggets in 6. All right, Brian, you were higher on Portland at the beginning of the year. I think anybody else on the show in terms of their over-under for wins and what they could do. And you thought they could be dangerous come playoff time. They have been looking better. They have been playing better. Are you believing that MPJ will be a problem for Portland, or do the Nuggets not have enough for Dame time?
This was a very hard series to sort of navigate through. Also, look, as I said before, a lot of people were saying that the Nuggets are probably cooked once Jamal Murray got hurt, and I said, looking around at the rest of the Western Conference, I still think they can get to the finals even without Jamal Murray being there. In part because MPJ has been so good, but also just the rest of their team, along with Nikola Jokic, they're still really good. And both conferences are very imperfect right now. I think that title is very much up for grabs between 10 different teams, including both of these teams, by the way. So I would give them that respect. My head, similar to the Heat and Bucks series, is telling me to roll with the Denver Nuggets because they have the MVP. I'm a little surprised that Portland's the favorite. I wouldn't go that far. So that makes me a little cautious in terms of trying to pick them in terms of, what I want to do with my money here. But look, man, I really for some reason can buy into the will of that team and Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, and Norman Powell, who sort of fit in there. And we talk about playoff Rondo. I think there's something to be said for playoff Melo, who was actually good in that series they had against the Lakers last year, shooting about 42% from three in that playoff series. And over the course of his career, he's obviously had some playoff moments, and they're going to need him here. I think what Jamal Murray does sort of swing is that, this Portland team is actually pretty deep. Like, they can put guys out on the court that you feel confident in the playoffs. My issue with them is defense, but I mean, in this first round, I think you can sort of get by with that. The defense is more long term for me. Like, we'll see what ends up happening there. I think I'm going to lean Portland in terms of what I'm going to do with my money there, because I do like that +6 number, but I'm not like too confident in that either. I could also just see myself holding my money for the series and just watching it, because I'm very split 50-50 on what to do here. I have a hard time betting against Dame, and I have a very hard time betting against the MVP, and I have a hard time seeing him lose in the first round. So, but I would say 51-49. I'm on Portland at the moment, I guess, but I'm not very confident in that.
In how many games?
I would say 6, because I usually think the underdog, if they get it to 2-2 and they can steal game 5, they'll just finish it out on their home floor. But doing that in Denver would also be hard. So you know what? I'm just going to change my mind and say Blazers in 7.
Okay, Blazers in 7. We got you down on record for that. Yeah,
not confidently though.
Not confidently.
And let's not forget Aaron Gordon too, who I mentioned.
I was going to bring that up, Gerard. I'm glad you brought that up.
Light skin jump man, yeah.
Light skin jump man. Yeah.
Aaron Gordon could pass for a Latino, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to put that out there.
So I think
he's in Orlando. I mean, he was in Orlando.
Yeah. This series is really interesting for me. But here's the thing. While the Blazers have been playing good, I think we also got to put some respect to the Nuggets, who did a great job following Murray going down.
Yeah.
Jokic just sort of motivated those guys, held them together. There seems to be there's something different about the Nuggets. I can't explain what it is when I watch them. I've seen them struggle in some games, but then still have this togetherness to finish it out. Aaron Gordon's come in. He's been extremely selfless. He's been like, I'll do whatever you guys want me to do, pass. I don't have to score a lot of points. MPJ's been lighting it up. I'm kind of inclined to go with Gerard that MPJ breaks out. Yeah, Murph, I'm believing in MPJ, man. I'm doubling down on the MPJ stock here. I think he breaks out. I think he's the wild card here, and I don't believe Portland has any answer for him.
0.
Now, here's the thing. Go ahead, Murph. Go.
What does breakout mean? Because I think, if what Gerard's predicting, that after the playoffs he'll be the legit second best player, I'm gonna need like a 40 piece, a couple of them. It's not just, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's gonna have to do what Jamal Murray did or close to it. Like in the playoffs, Jamal Murray in the playoffs is not playing around. This dude's dropping like 50. You know what I'm saying? So I know he doesn't give it to you during the regular season, because I we see why, because it's too much. I think it's too much pressure on his body to really give you that every game, because he's not like an A+ athlete. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But so if MPJ's to break out, I want to see a couple 40-point games in this series.
So if they win this series and he clearly, like Jokic does his normal triple-double ish around stuff, and MPJ's averaging 27 points a game, and they do their thing, is that gonna be enough for you to be like, all right, I see where you're going, MPJ? I see.
If he averaged 27 in the playoffs, which means he probably did get a 40
somewhere in there,
because he's not the most consistent in terms of bringing energy and being aggressive. So that's my problem with him, is that sometimes he does give you 18. You know what I'm saying? And that's not going to cut it. So if he's averaging 27, that means he did get probably a couple 40s.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. And I think just something about the Nuggets. I don't know what it is. I think they like this challenge that people might count them out without Jamal Murray. Jokic has been consistent. We've seen the other guys. I think Campazzo, Brian's boy, is going to be a pest.
He going to do something.
Gonna be a pest.
I fuck with Campazzo, yo.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
It's also a bad match. I like what Campazzo was doing in the regular season. I watched those games. He was putting pressure on some point guards out there.
Right.
But I don't think he can do that to Lillard. I don't think he's going to bother Lillard like that.
I wanted to ask about that, actually. I think we're going to see a point where they're going to put Aaron Gordon on Damian Lillard for a stretch, and I want to see what sort of happens there, because I think that will help me sort of determine, because that's sort of the ace that I'm waiting for, right? I'm waiting for a time where Damian Lillard, like, he's going to cook this series, most likely, right?
Yep.
He's going to cook at some point. He's going to be efficient. And is Mike Malone going to be like, all right, Aaron, you're going to follow Damian Lillard around? Then I want to see what sort of happens there.
Because Aaron is an A+ athlete.
He is.
That is an A+ athlete.
But I also will
defender.
say, and Murph, I don't know if you'll agree with me on this, I'm not necessarily sure that bothers Damian Lillard, right? There's not too many people in the league that's necessarily going to bother him.
Or McCollum.
Right.
No doubt.
The sneaky, really good playoff performer who put Denver away a couple years ago with that great Game 7.
Good note there.
Well said. I will say this
is a very 50-50 series to me.
I will say this Denver team is very different than that Denver team 2 years ago. And remember, this Denver team went to the conference finals last year, y'all. Like, yes, I know they had Jamal Murray, but they also have the league MVP, right? Like, I feel good about Denver.
Willed them.
He was legit. No doubt about it. I mean, let's also be real. They could have lost round 1 to Utah, 7-game series, right? Like,
yeah. So for me, for this one, before we move to the next series, I will have to say, I just something about Denver I like. I'm going to go with them in 6. I'm going to pick them in 6. So we got 2 of us taking Denver, 2 of us taking Portland, with Brian taking Portland begrudgingly. Only 51-49 the odds on there. All right, on to the next series. We get to talk about my team. New York Knicks. Knicks, 4th seed in the East. 4th in the East, baby. And they're taking on the Atlanta Hawks. They are the 5th seed. Knicks will have the home court advantage. MSG is going to be rocking. I will be in the building for Game 5. Assuming the Knicks don't get swept. I don't see that happen.
I don't see that happen.
But this is an interesting series, right? Because you've got the Knicks, who are a defensive first team, bringing the energy, Thibodeau culture, whatever you want to say. The fans like Eric Chang are hyped. There's let's go Knicks, Knicks tape all the time. Atlanta is a very good offensive team.
Mm-hmm.
Trae Young's been fantastic. Bogdanovich has been really good. We've seen what they've done down the strength. We've seen what a good coach Nate McMillan can do for them, Pacers. We've seen what can happen there, right? So this is a very, I would say, at least an interesting first-round series. And I think it should be pretty entertaining as well, too, guys. I think you should see this to be very entertaining. Now, this is in terms of the correct score in the series and what it will be. The Knicks sweeping, which I don't necessarily want because that means I won't get to go to Game 5, but that's at plus 1,400. Knicks winning in 5, which I'd like to see. That's at plus 650. Knicks in 6, plus 475. Knicks in 7, plus 475. Hawks sweeping, plus 1,200. Hawks in 5, plus 550. Hawks in 6, plus 425. And the Hawks in 7 at plus 425. Brian, I'm going to start with you. Are the Knicks going to get aggressive? Are they going to mess things up for Murph's boy Trae Young? Is things going to get a little too tough for them? How do you see this series playing out? Who you got your money on?
So we talk about the differences between regular season basketball and playoff basketball, and there's something to that even still. Even in this offensive era, you saw it last night twice. Both games, it was like both were grinded out games, scores around 100. Like, it was very reminiscent of the basketball from, the era previously in terms of how things looked all the time. You're just seeing it now in the playoffs. I think that's going to be something that carries over, and I think that favors the Knicks because every game they play is kind of like that. Every game they play stylistically, you say what you want about Tibbs and his minutes and all those things. I think the minutes thing is a little bit overblown, as we've seen with, some of the other guys that he's coached. Like, Derrick Rose is fine. Jimmy Butler's fine. Like, they have their little knickknacks every now and then, but so does fucking everybody in this league at this point because of the AAU era. That's another discussion for another day. Though Jimmy Butler didn't play AAU. But still, I think I'm going to lean with Knicks in 7 here. That's just sort of what my head's been telling me. I might have gone Hawks in 7 if they got the 4th seed and, they were able to get home court, so to speak. But even so, I just think playoff basketball favors Tibbs, favors the Knicks. And in terms of star players go, who would I rather have in a playoff-style game between Julius Randle and Trae Young? I'm taking Julius Randle. Trae Young's got to prove it to me because I'm not sure that what he does can sort of translate against this team who, is very, very good defensively. That's not to say that he's not going to play well, though. I just think that they're going to have some stuff for him that can sort of get him off his game. But Nate McMillan is one reason why I think the Hawks could still win this series because he's been a great coach and he's a Coach of the Year candidate based on the limited time that he served in Atlanta, where they were so much better after they fired Lloyd Pierce. So I'm rolling with Knicks in 7 plus 450. And yeah, I'm more confident in that than I was at the last series. That's for damn sure.
All right, Knicks in 7. Murph, are you also going with the Knicks, or are you rolling with your boy Ice Tray?
I think Ice Tray will perform. I think he's a serious competitor, and when the lights are on, he tends to do his thing. So I think he'll show up and show improve. I just don't think Atlanta has enough beyond that, especially in terms of toughness. It's a little surprising to me that Atlanta is a slight favorite in this series. The Knicks' home court advantage is pretty big to me. I feel like they had one of the best home courts in the league, even with limited fans. So I'm going to go Knicks in 7. I do think this is going to be a great series. It could go either way. I do think Atlanta has a decent shot to win it. But it's all about matchups, and when you put the Knicks hard-nosed, grinded out, old school defense against kind of like some of these Atlanta Hawks are like light in the pants. You know what I'm saying? Just,
they're light in the pants. I like that.
Light in the butt.
You know what I'm saying? He was like John Collins, like a real bruiser type. No, you know what I'm saying? You got Bogdanovich. He's nice and finesse. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think Capella will be a big factor, but I gotta go Knicks in 7. They grind out the series here.
All right, another Knicks in 7. Gerard, what are we doing here? Are you going to be light in the pants, or are you going to bet right so you're not light in the pockets?
Well, we talked about staying on brand, and I was the only one who did not pick the Knicks to smash their Las Vegas preseason win total.
Here we go.
No, look. I will say that light in the pants or light in the butt's a funny thing. Only thing we talk about that in football, right? We talk about offensive linemen, and always like, you're a little light in the butt, and I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, anyway. I mean, I get it. I know what they're trying to say. You don't got enough meat. I get it.
There's a better way to say that, though.
Right. Exactly.
A better way to say that.
But damn, Murph, the DeAndre Hunter and John Collins and Clint Capella slander from you. If these guys aren't good, I don't know.
You're not gonna like what I have to say next. Okay.
I mean, look, I will say this: the Knicks defense is legit. I mean, defense travels in the postseason. We know this. What I worry about the Knicks, though, is offensively scoring points. Because, look, Julius Randle is who he is, but the rest of them dudes, like RJ Barrett, he's another one. You got to show me, son. Regular season was nice. Show me. Derrick Rose, can I count on you to give me 20 a night? Maybe. I don't know, right? All that being said, Knicks fans, stand up. MSG going to be rocking. 15,000 in the Garden. Get ready. Knicks in 7, baby.
Another Knicks in 7. All right. So here's the thing for me with this series. Now, the Knicks fan, I'm not going to be a homer or anything. I'm going to call it as it is. Knicks are bad. They're bad. They're good. They're good. You guys Gerard talked about the offense. And I watched the Knicks in the final week of the season against a couple, actually, I say 3 pretty good playoff defenses. They played the Suns. They played the Clippers. They played the Lakers. They ended up 1-2 in those games. But I saw some things down the stretch in those games I like. Saw Julius Randle hitting big shots over big-time defensive players, AD, PG. I like some of the Knicks' execution down the stretch. I don't think the Hawks can defend. I see you smiling, Gerard. Put the camera on Gerard. We see him smiling. Murph, I see you smirking. Brian, I see you smirking. I hope y'all know what's coming. Knicks in 5, baby.
Wow.
We're talking Knicks in 5.
Homer.
All the disrespect. No. No homerism. I don't believe in Atlanta. You know what I believe? I believe Atlanta can't stop anybody. I believe they can't even stop the Knicks, and the Knicks offense isn't that good. And I think the Knicks offense, they're going to turn it up another level. The fans are going to be turned up in MSG. The Knicks are going to take the challenge on the road. You go to Atlanta, what's down in Atlanta? Tons of transplant New Yorkers. It's like another home game.
And lemon pepper chicken wings.
And lemon pepper chicken wings. Stay out of the strip club, Knicks. But I think the Knicks will do fine playing in Atlanta. It's like a second home. I think this is a series tailor-made for them. I got the balls. I got something. It's not lighting the pants.
Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest.
I'm not lighting the pants on this bet. We're not doing anything light in the pants here. It's not happening. Knicks in 5 plus 650. Book it. I'm with Eric Chang. Under every game. Let's go.
I like it. I like it.
So Dex, I was really I chickened out because I was leaning kind of that way.
Light in the pants.
I was leaning kind of that way because I think the Knicks are going to win both of the first 2 games, and that gives you a shot at getting to 5. Because if you steal 1 on the road and you're going back to MSG,
15,000 strong, screaming.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Talking about Trey's receding hairline coming at him.
Right. I have a hard time seeing Atlanta winning a road game in this series. Maybe we're overstating it a little bit because last time, Atlanta was beating the Knicks over there, and then Trae Young got hurt, and that sort of changed the game. We'll end up seeing what happens, but hey, playoff basketball. What can I say?
Basketball. I don't know. I like this matchup for the Knicks. I don't know how much more the Knicks will do past this. But I do like this matchup for them. I think it works well for them. And, the one player that scares me, Murph brought up, I will say that I do think Clint Capella is a huge factor in the series. In the games he's played against the Knicks, he was really great on the offensive boards. He's been great on the offensive boards all year. Gerard and I talked on NBA Exchange a couple weeks ago about how he had a chance of being third team All-NBA center. He had a legit shot of being in the conversation to that. So I think that's something to keep an eye on. I think who controls the boards in this series is going to be huge. But I like the Knicks to do it, playing team defense. So,
shout out to Nick McMillan, working the refs already, talking about the refs, New York bias, how the league wants the Knicks to go far because ratings. Go ahead, Nate, do your thing. I see you, Playboy.
Yeah, I gotta respect that. I gotta respect that from Nate McMillan. I mean, it's kind of a weak move, but he's willing to pay that. He knew he was gonna pay that $25,000, right? And he's like, I'm gonna say it anyway. So,
because he ain't exactly wrong. The Adam Silver would prefer it if the Knicks continued on. Like, he's not lying.
Yeah, he's not lying, but you can't come out and say that the refs are doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but hey, he's putting his money where his mouth is. Well, he has to. He's forced to. But yeah, it is what it is. All right, guys, moving on because I might have a little bit too much of Knicks fever. The last series that we know is going on because last night the Lakers won. The Suns are the number 2 seed in the West, and their reward, playing the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers. This is a series about what you believe to me, right? Do you believe the Lakers are getting healthy, they're good enough, they can win if they don't play like they did last night? Or have the Suns turned a corner and they could be a problem for the Lakers? I'm going to start with you, Gerard, on this. Are you going with Suns or Lakers for this series?
I have a feeling I know where all 3 of you are going, so I'm going to start it early. So you're all on the Lakers, huh? All 3 of you got the Lakers in this series. Phoenix in 7, baby. Let's do it. Land of the rising sun. Chris Paul. Let's do it, baby. LeBron, Wash King. Let's do it. Let's do it.
You know what this sounds like? You know what it sounds like from you, Gerard?
Propaganda
season. This is what it sounds like. Sounds like propaganda season. The odds for the Suns in 7 are plus 475, folks. Plus 475 for the Suns to win in 7. Okay, not bad.
I mean, real talk. I will say, look, the Lakers won that game last night. Did anybody walk out of that game being like, LeBron looks fine and he's good to go?
Absolutely.
And you feel he's good to go? LeBron looks fine?
If a man can hit a shot when he saw 3 rims, yeah.
See, propaganda season, baby. Propaganda season. Dexter is bought
I was going to say the same thing.
Yep. Yeah, that's because y'all are LeBron acolytes, and you believe whatever that man spews. You think Space Jam 2 about to win an Oscar. I get it. Listen, all I'm saying is that dude don't look right to me. Is all I'm saying. And it isn't like your ankle's gonna get better as the playoffs go on. So,
but maybe that's what he wants you to think. That builds the narrative as he goes further. Just saying, y'all. Like he might have got to you. And here's the thing. Let's say this about Gerard, because if this was KD talking about somebody had a hand over his face and he still Jay somebody, he'd be loving KD for this. Listen.
I am realistic about my guy, right? Like I'll call him out when he does his bullshit. My point is, LeBron, stop the propaganda, my dude. Just stop it. Stop it.
See,
stop
our man Eric
KD be doing a lot of bullshit though.
Yeah, but he don't be doing propaganda. Like, he may go on burner accounts and on Twitter and shit, but he don't be doing propaganda.
I will say this: like we get on LeBron for the hairline shit, but he's doing better than Kevin Durant at preserving his. That's all I'm saying right now. Kevin Durant is too rich for that shit, man.
And I will agree with you on that. The difference, of course, being is LeBron tries to lie about his. Kevin's like, I don't give a shit. He just rolls out of bed being like,
KD just be owning it.
Like, I don't care.
Katie definitely just rolled out of bed.
He'd be like, fuck it. I'm just going.
No brush, Murph. No brush.
No brush.
No brush. No brush at all.
He hits a jumper before he brushes his teeth. He's one of those.
100%. 100%.
And before he brushes his hair.
So, yeah, definitely before he brushes his hair. So Gerard, just so we're clear, is that Suns pick for real, or did you stop sipping the wine?
Listen, I picked the Suns. I put a bet on them to get out of the Western Conference, man. They were plus 800. I can't have them losing in the first round now. Let's go, baby. Phoenix in 7.
Phoenix in 7. Like that energy. Okay. Murph, are you high on the Suns? Or are you going to stay high on the Lakers? Are you going to believe in the one-eye patch man rolling into Phoenix?
No, I actually agree with Gerard because, I watched that game last night, Golden State. I didn't come away thinking that the Lakers look good. They did not look good. Golden State played tough D against them. Golden State's a good defensive team. They're 5, like you said. Who's number 6? Phoenix. Okay, so Phoenix is going to have that same kind of defensive pressure on them. And I don't think it's not even about thinking. We pretty much know for a fact LeBron is not right. First of all, just besides the age and all that, he missed how many? He missed what, a month and change, a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no way you can be completely right after that. And he came back and he still having problems with the ankle. He looked a little slower and less athletic out there against Golden State last night. Wiggins was throwing his shit. You know what I'm saying? So AD does not look like he's not the AD of last year even.
Mm-hmm.
And last year I expected more from him. So and you talk about a guy who goes to the locker room like KP. I mean, AD's right there with them. Like unless AD is like Jim Brown, you know how they used to say about Jim Brown every time he'd run for like 50 yards to get tackled, and he'd be the slowest dude to get up, and you would think he was done, and then come back and hit you again. Unless AD is doing that, I don't know, because he's always complaining about something like about 5 times a game. He doesn't look right. And then the pressure's on the other guys, and we saw what happens late in that Golden State game.
Caruso,
of course, hitting the side of the backboard.
I saw that doing his best Paul George.
So I think and then on the other side you see Phoenix is hearing all this talk too, like, oh no, we feel that you get the Lakers, we feel so bad for you. You have no chance. Get out. I don't think they're coming in a series like that. They're a second seed for a reason, and just because I say that they're going to beat the Lakers does not mean I think Chris Paul is better than Donovan Mitchell. But I'm going for, like I said, Phoenix in 7.
I love
Phoenix,
it.
2 people.
I love
Phoenix
it.
in 7.
And I will say this, Dex, really quick.
Sure.
Chris Paul is a motherfucker. Okay, like he's not gonna be out here like, all right, fucking LeBron's here. He's a dog. Yeah, he's little. He's only 6 feet tall, but that dude is and Book. Listen, Book can come for all these fools. Just saying.
Yeah, and Chris Paul, he would like nothing better than to take out.
Oh man. Oh yeah.
I'm sure he would. Brian, they talked about Chris Paul being a little man. That is your people in the height stratosphere, and you tend to like those kind of tough, short point guards. Is that behoove you to pick Chris Paul and the Suns?
He a LeBron acolyte, you know that.
In terms of what I'm going to do with my money, I'll save that for Keep It 100. But in terms of how I think this series is going to go, I mean, it's another scenario for me where I just have to see somebody beat the Lakers before I can pick somebody beating the Lakers, at least for this round. I love the Phoenix Suns. I think they can get all the way to the finals also. They're a team that if they didn't match up with the Lakers, I probably would have picked them to go to the NBA Finals. They've been healthy all year. They're the rare team where their top 4 guys in terms of minutes have played all 67-plus games this year. Mikal Bridges, DeAndre, and Devin Booker, Chris Paul. All that being said, I don't know if they have enough to sort of knock off the Lakers 4 times in the series. So in terms of the safe bet here, I would lean toward the Lakers. Even though those are all legitimate concerns in terms of injuries and whether or not they can sort of make it through this playoff stretch healthy. But I have those questions about at least one star player on basically every single team, including the Phoenix Suns, because we'll see with Chris Paul what happens in the playoffs. It's happened before, and he hasn't gotten hurt this year, but who knows? So I would lean with the Lakers here, although I don't want to, because like I kind of want to be like, one of the cool dudes and pick the Phoenix Suns, but I ain't picking against LeBron. Like that dude, he sees 3 rims, he makes jumpers, he turns water into wine. Like, look, this is the only dude. This is one of the only dude, but this is one of the only dudes ever who had like ridiculous expectations and has actually surpassed them. So
here we go.
Wash King.
Shouts to the Wash King. Wash King.
Why would I bet him now?
Brian, how many games are we going?
I'll go 6 because again, with road teams, I just see, the pathway to them finishing it on their home floor, and it's gonna suck because Chris Paul is the godfather of Bronny James. And they have to play each other, and he has to watch this unfold in the playoffs. If LeBron,
like, fuck Bronny.
I don't know. I'm not going to go as far as to say if LeBron was a real one, he would do this. But we have this whole narrative about Chris Paul not winning a ring and this and that. And I'm just saying, LeBron, if you want to rest up for next season and just let Chris Paul sort of get through, I wouldn't be mad at that as well. Just let me know ahead of time so I can put my money on the Suns.
So here's the thing.
I want Chris Paul to get a ring, goddammit.
So do I, but I don't think it's going to happen this year. And I think it's because the Lakers are going to knock them out. Although I think the stuff that Murph and Gerard bring up are legit. But here's what I'm here for. Did anybody, if you watch the top of the show, you've been rocking with us from the beginning, Eric Chang has seen this. Did you see the energy that Gerard brought because of the propaganda season that's going on?
You're bought in. You're bought in.
No, it's not a bought in. I'm here for the entertainment. I'm here for Gerard being more mad as this continues to go on. The legend of LeBron continues to grow on.
Jesus
he starts
Christ.
Turning water into wine, like Brian said.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's going to be saying Jesus Christ, like he gave credit to after that shot. That's what's going to happen.
The man above. The man. I'm like, motherfucker, he ain't got shit to do with that shot going in, though.
Hey, look, man. And look, man, you ain't going to win against that. You're going to win with the people that it's like the Tebow disciples, man. You ain't going to win against the Tebow disciples, okay? LeBron is setting this up. One thing that Gerard forgot to mention in the beginning. Remember, LeBron wanted no parts of the play-in tournament, right? And now to add to the narrative, overcame the play-in tournament with an incredible shot over the league MVP and Steph Curry, guys. Then he's going to roll up into Phoenix with an eye patch and slay Chris Paul. Then the next round, he'll do whatever. He's going to do this, slay the Clippers, reclaim the city of Los Angeles, and the heavens from the sky, he's going to be touched by the hand of Kobe and whoever other Laker greats. I see all this happening. I see it.
Wait. And then, because Space Jam comes out in July, they go up against the Brooklyn Nets, the Monstars, and he defeats the Monstars in real life and in the movie.
Yo, it ain't a movie, dog. It's real. Like, this is what's happening. And LeBron is here for this, right? So I want to see this happen. I want Gerard to keep bringing this energy throughout the playoffs. And I don't want y'all to be wrong. I think Murph and Gerard made fantastic points. I don't think they're bugging or tripping on any of this. I just want to see that. I just want to see more energy like this from Gerard throughout the playoffs. So I'm going Lakers in 6. I'm with Brian on this. Lakers in 6 for me on this one. I'm going with it. Touched by an angel.
Touched by an angel. We wildin'.
Oh man! All right, guys. Before we wrap and get to keep 100 real quick, do you think the Jazz could possibly play the Grizzlies or the Warriors, guys, and the Sixers could play the Pacers or the Wizards? Do any of the teams in the playoffs have any chance to beat the Sixers or the Jazz? You see any of the top seeds losing in the first round? Murph, I'll start with you. Gerard, that's a quick no.
Yeah, no, I don't see it. I think, I like Utah. I think Utah is legit. They could, with the Lakers being vulnerable, they could get to the finals. So we'll see. And I don't see the 76ers having too much trouble either.
Yeah, I don't see it. Gerard, that was a quick no from you. Sounding more like a hell no.
Yeah, well, because it's like, come on, man. These teams ain't doing shit. Like, it might make it fun. The Golden State might make it a little fun. Steph Curry might score 65 in a game, but nah, man, they ain't happening.
Brian, any shot for upset city for the team seeded 8th?
As much as I would love to see it from Golden State's end, just because it would be fun to have a Steph Curry.
Utah hater.
Yeah, it would be fun to have a Steph Curry. So, look, ain't nobody trying. Look, one thing that the King has said that is accurate.
Oh, Lord.
The King being LeBron James.
One
thing that the King has said is that ain't nobody playing with Utah in a video game. And people want to see the teams that we use in video games moving along in the playoffs. And that does not include the Utah Jazz. It does include the Golden State Warriors because everybody loves to play as Steph Curry. Trust me, as somebody who's played 2K online against other people, motherfuckers be using that dude all the time. But anyway, I wouldn't bet on it necessarily. If Golden State, I think, could make it interesting. I don't know how Donovan Mitchell's going to be. Maybe he's working his way back a couple games, and Golden State has the capability of stealing a couple games because they have Steph and Draymond. But in terms of beating Utah 4 times in a playoff series, that's going to be hard. I would be curious to see what the lines are, though, just to see, because the upside in terms of betting, you never know. You put some money on Warriors on 7, and then somebody else gets banged up and hurt, and then all of a sudden you're plus 4,000. All of a sudden cashes in. Who knows?
Your disrespect of Rudy Gobert is noted.
He hasn't earned. Yo, come
Noted.
on. He doesn't earn my respect yet, baby. He doesn't earn it.
Noted.
But here's Brian. I'm going to give you some support here. You know why Rudy Gobert hasn't earned your respect? He ain't seen 3 rims and hit a shot to win it. He ain't done it. He ain't done it at all.
By the way, the NBA just announced the 3 finalists for MVP. Embiid, Jokic, Steph Curry.
Where's your boy Gobert?
Listen, he's probably number 5 on that list. Shouts to the Stifle Tower.
Oh, man. It's a good one. Propaganda.
Julius Randle should be there.
Continues. Just want to remind everybody, if you like this content, before we get into our last segment on here, please, we've gone a little bit long today, but please hit that subscribe button to the Props Network. Also, check out the propsnetwork.com to use all the best tools to look at betting and look at all the different odds and layouts from different betting houses. You can check that out at thepropsnetwork.com/NBA. All right, our last segment of the night. This is a playoff edition of Keep It 100. Everybody is $100, not to just spend on tonight because there's only one game, which you could spread it out through that if you wanted to, but you can use this for the final 2 playing games, so today or tomorrow night, or on any first-round games this weekend. If you want to, or any series you want to bet on as well, just to add that. So how would you spend your $100? Keep it 100. Brian's going to have some violence. Brian, let's start with you. What playoff violence are you voting for, or betting on, I should say?
We have some playoff violence and we have some actual violence. We'll get to that later. $20 Mavs and 6 plus 1,000. Numbers too good to pass up. $20 Heat in 7. That's plus 800. Heat and 7 over the Bucks. $10. Oh no, let's go $20 again. Let's go in order here. Knicks and 7, as we talked about. I chickened out on going Knicks and 5. I'm sorry, but if I can come up with another sort of $20, then maybe I'll put it towards that.
Light in the pants, bro. Light in the pants.
$15 Lakers and 6, and $14 Suns and 7. I'm gonna hedge there and see. I'm gonna sit.
You're real light in the pants. You don't talk about believing in the King and then hedging here.
It's not LeBron. It's Anthony Davis. Just in case he goes back to the locker room. You know what I'm saying? During game 2.
Paper champs.
And then we find out he's got some, whatever it is, just in case. That's the only reason. If even so, I still got my Lakers and 6 bet there because, LeBron's LeBron. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. $10 Blazers and 7. Just the odds there are tantalizing, even though I'm asking for a lot and, it probably won't happen, but I'm just taking a shot there. Because, winning in Denver on the road. I mean, they've done it before a couple years ago, so we'll see. And my $1 bet, we have a super lightweight unification title match, which I put some money on last week in just a general picking somebody to win. Josh Taylor versus Ramirez, and I have Ramirez winning because by KO, there's 13-2 odds in his favor. So I am taking that.
Okay, not bad. Murph, how you spending your 100?
I'm going to go, I put 25 on Golden State minus 3.5 tomorrow. The more I think about it, the more I think they'll take care of business. I'm going to put 25 on the Clippers and 6. Feel good about that for some reason. I don't know. That might be a jinx.
Clips going clip, baby. Clips going clip.
I got 25 on the Knicks and 7. I think that'll be a great series. I think it goes the distance. And the last one, I'm gonna put 25 on. I'm gonna go all out. I'm gonna say I'm gonna put 25 on the Suns in 7.
25 on the Suns in 7.
My man.
There's all the Suns in 7, love. Disrespect to the king.
Wash
Come
King.
on. Wash King. Washed one-eyed patch king. All right, Gerard, what you got?
25 on the Pacers money line tonight. 25 on Phoenix Suns in 7. 25 on a future finals prediction. Phoenix Suns, Brooklyn Nets plus 1,800. All in, baby. Give me all the money on that. And then I got to go something sentimental, man. Like, you know where I'm going with this. Shouts to my guy, Triple J, John Morant, the Memphis Grizzly Cubs, baby. Plus 25 on the money line. Let's do it.
Here we go.
I thought you were gonna pick like Rudy Gobert for Hall of Fame or some shit.
I mean, yo, he already got 3 DPOIs. Like, listen,
he probably is.
He don't deserve this one.
Listen, I'm just all the numbers say he does.
Here we go.
The advanced numbers that doesn't measure defense properly, but all right, that's fine.
So what does your eyes measure defense better? Come on, man, come on.
You're supposed to measure defense with your eyes.
I mean,
in a lot of instances, you're supposed to measure defense with your eyes. We don't have time though. It's 7:20.
We're almost out of time. But what he's saying, Brian, is you wear glasses, so he's not necessarily sure that you can.
Actually, glasses gives me a lot better vision. You know what I mean? As opposed to not having fucking glasses.
Listen. I get it. You like Ben Simmons' switchability. Who doesn't? It's
no.
I get it.
No. Bam Adebayo.
Oh no! You see? Okay, propaganda. Nah.
I pulled up the numbers on the last pod, Gerard. My case is there already. I pulled up the numbers. You want to talk about numbers? I pulled up them numbers.
Nah.
Murph was there. Dex was there.
We'll have to settle this.
Fucking Dorian Finney-Smith being like, I want Rudy Gobert. Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, that's cool. Dorian Smith can want Rudy Gobert. Listen, everybody can say they want Rudy Gobert all they want.
And nobody want Bam. You know why?
Listen, because you love the Heat.
Because he's a better defender.
Well, listen, we can get into reasons why from the eye test it would tell you that Bam is better, but we ain't got time for all that.
All right, we can get into that another time. I am going to go for my 100. Give me $50 on the Knicks to win at 5. Like those odds at plus 650. Yeah, but not light in the pants. Don't get you
with your chest.
Don't get you heavy in the pockets, man. Light in the pants. Don't get you heavy in the pockets. That's all I'm gonna say with that. I'm also with Murph on this. The more I think about it, I like the Warriors tomorrow night. I'll put 25 on them. I'll just put 25 on the money line for them. I'm confident they will win outright there. I won't even mess around with the spread. I'm also going to drop 24. Okay, and I'm actually bringing a dollar bet into this. I'm doing a Brian here. Nobody does dollar bets except for Brian. Now he's got me doing this. I'm gonna do 24 on that the Mavs to win that series because gotta look at how the Clippers gonna clip.
Clippers disrespect.
I know where your dollar bet is, by the way. I think I know what it is.
No idea what my dollar bet is. I guarantee you have no idea.
That's the Knicks love for KP and Hardaway.
That's what that is.
Wait. You might have got me there with his love for KP. Love for Hardaway. No. Come on, Murph.
And Trey Burke too? No.
Come on, Murph. I wanted to drive Hardaway to the airport. No. Not happening. 24 on the Mavs and 7. Okay, just like the odds there. Why not? But my $1 bet has nothing to do with basketball. My $1 bet is that Tony La Russa gets fired by the Chicago White Sox for his lameness that he's doing. The player's not going to play for anymore. Get him out of here. $1
years old. Yeah.
On Tony La Russa getting up out of here with the Chicago White Sox. Because he's
I'm with that.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
I'm with that. All these baseball stupid ass unwritten rules, bro. You are 100,000-year-old. You know what kind of man. Shouts to this T-shirt that I'm wearing.
And the teammate in Cleveland that he needs to change. That too. That's all that's it. All right, guys, we talked a lot. Are you looking forward to anything this weekend? I think we might see LeBron put up a 60-piece while walking on water, while turning water into wine, while rocking the eye patch. I think all this stuff might happen.
See an eye dog. He's going to have it all.
Did he finish with in Game 7, like 18? What did he finish with? I can't remember.
I don't know. Look, I don't know. The narrative is just building. Okay, I'm here for this, man. Anything else you guys looking forward to this weekend and the first weekend in the NBA?
Just happy playoffs, man. Happy playoffs.
Yeah,
turn injuries off. No injuries,
there
please.
We go. That's all we want. No injuries. Hopefully it's good. Should be some exciting stuff. We will let you know what our scheduling will be throughout the playoffs and what we will do regarding that. We still haven't made a decision on that, but we thank you for rocking with us all through the season, and we'll have more stuff coming through the playoffs. That's it for this edition of NBA Picks and Props. For Gerard Hector, who does not believe in LeBron propaganda season. For Brian Fonseca, who is a hater of the Utah Jazz and Rudy Gobert, but loves the Miami Heat. And for Jamal Murphy, who I got nothing bad to say about Jamal, other than he doesn't have to watch the Pelicans anymore, which is kind of nice. He doesn't have to do that. That's gotta make his life better. Stan Van Gundy might want to call him up finally to learn how to get into the playoffs. Maybe that.
They might need to eat 3 years of a contract. That's what I got to
he might do that. Last thing I gotta say is go Knicks. Until next time, y'all.